everyone, what's going on? My name is JX and welcome back to the channel. Today we finally have Act 2 breakdown. Now I know I did Act 1 in July and I was like, alright, I'll probably do it in August, and that just kind of got pushed to October. But it's actually really interesting. It's a lot shorter than the original Act 2, because Japan basically, they took the original Act 2 and skimmed it down to only 6 quests. And you kind of lose a lot of stuff in it. In fact, I'll talk a little bit about it because it weirdly only focuses on, it doesn't weirdly focus on, it does a good job at focusing on King's story and Thanos' story, because if you remember at the end of Act 1 we had a cutscene and Thanos along with Ronan, Magneto, Ultron, and Electro pop up. Now all of those were supposed to be in Act 2 originally, but that kind of got obviously skimmed down, and only Thanos really is a big part of it. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, and kind of same with his thumbnail as well. Scarlet Witch was a part of it, and she's obviously breaking the ISO spell that we kind of saw in Act 1, in Act 2, which is interesting. And also another thing is the adaptoids are completely scrapped from Act 2, which is kind of disappointing. I think the adaptoids are super cool for characters that pop up every once in a while, like the micro realms. You get to see these characters and understand who they are. Like, they're not just regular adaptoids, they actually are super adaptoids. And I think the white one appears even later too in Act 3 or 4, something like that. Like the white adaptoid that we never got to play that actually became symbiote, somebody like the summoned symbiote. It's pretty cool, but yeah, so we kind of get scrapped the adaptoids, but basically he was like, I infused them with ISO, and it kind of gave them the classes and abilities of the same class, like Spider-Man, or this one was, I'm Super Adaptoid. I think the next one was like Science, and he was like, I'm Spider-Man, I'm your friendly neighborhood Adaptoid. Like, it was pretty funny. Yeah, let's just get right into the actual dialogue, like the reworked dialogue. So obviously we have the Mad Titan Thanos, who obviously got awakened in the end of Act 1, and he's like, "What lunacy has brought me to this madhouse?" And he's like, Collector is like, "Welcome to the contest, Thanos. The contest held in the Battle Realm." It's like, the Battle Realm. I've heard tell of this place, of its potential. Like, his mind is already thinking like, this is a great opportunity for me, because I can do some nice stuff here. Currently, King fights the Summoner for the ISO Spear, the ultimate prize of the contest. So obviously, totally what Act 1 was about. I see sufficient power for King's meager ambitions. He's already like downing him. Like, he's already like, yeah, he's got ambition. Ain't nothing gonna happen because of it though. Your vision is clouded, Titan. With the ISO Spear, I will control the Earth and then the cosmos. Yeah, so actually in the original dialogue for Act 2, he's like, I just want to rule Earth. That's pretty much all he says. He doesn't say anything about the cosmos or the multiverse. So it's kind of interesting that they kind of changed it just a bit, which I think is better, because it makes the stakes more higher. You know what I mean? And Cap obviously is here. He's like, the Collector's out of his mind if he thinks bringing Thanos here is a good idea. I've tangled with him before. The only thing he cares about is power and getting as much as he can, which is exactly true, because if we know the Infinity, the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity quest to find all the stones is because of us, really, because we're the one who kind of got the Collector to bring in Thanos. And Deadpool kind of appears. He's like, listen to this guy, Summoner. Thanos is one bad dude. Crazy high body count. I'm jealous. Which is kind of interesting. Like, jealousy with Deadpool and Thanos is really more about death, because obviously Thanos and Deadpool both love Mistress Death. Like, they have this super romantic relationship with her, which is quite interesting. That even when like Deadpool straight up said like, "Ha, I've done it with Death. Take that, Thanos." I think Deadpalooza. But he's like, listen to this guy, Summer. So basically, yeah, what I just said. And he's like, speaking of which, I'm the boss this time. Let's throw these hands. Which is funny. Like, if you ever watched Ultimate Alliance 2 or played Ultimate Alliance 2,
time for a little boss battle, suckers!
I play it on stream all the time when I do a boss battle. It's hilarious. All right, so actually, we beat Deadpool. And Kang is still going on. He's like, I'm finished playing dice. I've got great ambition than some nobody like you. Thanos, you fight for Kang. So he's like, I want to use the ISO spell on you, because Collector was teaching him how to use it in Act 1, and he can use it on regular champions. But for Thanos, it doesn't work. And Thanos is just like, you truly deserve the title of a conqueror, King. You can't even conquer a simple human and their comrades. So obviously his spells don't really work on us. Silence Thanos. Collector, the Titan, is immune to the ISO spell and mocks your contest. Do something. I've noticed King. Isn't that fascinating? King is like, I don't need your fascination. I need to win. Like, it's just, everyone is against King. It's pretty hilarious. Like, when I say, like, King is, like, a loser in the earlier acts, this is what I mean. Like, before we get to Act 7, this is, like, his origin story of just being a loser. And so Thanos is like, you call this your contest, but you did not truly create this place, did you, Collector? So this is cool. This is also straight from the original Act 2, is, like, Thanos is questioning reality, really. Like, he's like, like, I don't know if I believe this. Like, there's more to it, which we know there's more to it, because obviously we'll get into it a little bit later, but yeah, it's cool. Obviously, yeah, Mr. Tanelier Tavon, the Collector, did not create the battle realm. He only discovered it with his brother and his daughter. So it was actually created when a dying Celestial died, really, and kind of crashed with crashed and exploded all the isometric 8 out of himself, which were all the dying remnants of previous universes. It's pretty awesome. Like, I love the lore of the contest. It's awesome. All right, anyways, consider me the most current and long-time owners of proprietors, perhaps. So, obviously, again, we do know this because we know who the first Con Champions owner / master of was, quite literally the elder called the Master, who obviously Aegon murdered, freed his people, but then they were like, oh, you broke our vows of being peaceful, so he stayed behind, and he's been in the battle room ever since, taking care of Karina and having her connection to her, because he heals her later on. So, yeah, pretty interesting, because, Thanos is like, yeah, then this place is beyond the kind of even Elder of the Universe, so he's kind of thinking big. Like, he's like, well, if an Elder of the Universe isn't responsible, then it has to be bigger than you, and you've been around for, 4 billion years old, is what I think the Adaptoid says. Summoner, you are the capable contender, but King himself is beyond you. He's doubting us. Like, come on, bro. Should he claim the Iso Spear, it'd be threatening the entire multiverse. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting that the Iso Spear, I don't remember if it was hundreds or thousands of Iso 8 stars inside of it. But it's a threat to the multiverse. I mean, how cool was that? Like, I want to see, if the contest will ever break out of the battle realm and these stuff will be used, like maybe for the MCU when we have that Con Champions and Secret Wars. It'd be really interesting to see like some of the stuff that's from this game to be in others. But you must keep that in mind. So yeah, this is where we build an alliance with Thanos. Cap's like, this is a terrible idea, but if you have to, don't trust him. Keep an eye on. You want to watch your back. And Kang is like, I ain't having this. And Cap as well is pretty observant too from Act 1. He's like, it's kind of interesting that the Collector is not helping Kang at all. He's just messing with them constantly. He's like, even for a time-traveling despot has limits, its patience. What is the Collector after if he's pinning the Collector? The Collector is pinning Kang versus the Thanos. Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, Cap is like, there's a reason for this. Thanos is still messing with. He's like, don't blame your Thanos. Like, don't blame your failures on others, King. He's like, quiet you. If the summoner wins, you free Iron Man. Let's make it interesting, Captain. If she shall fail, we will be permanently adding to King's roster. Okay, so this is where we found in Act 1. Remember when Iron Man actually got the ISO spell when King was learning his powers? He used it on Iron Man. So it's pretty cool to fully, like, literally, like, understand, like, that's what happened, and this is continuing with that, which is pretty cool. Like, it's not like Iron Man's on the back burner until he comes back. And obviously, we would have Scarlet Witch. So I'm interesting if Act 3 has what used to be the end part of Act 2. And I'll get into that right after this. So this is where we fight King. And he calls Captain America Flagman, which is actually a Marvel character. I think he's an Inhuman from Adelan. So pretty cool. More or less just a reference to Captain America and his flag. Obviously, the American flag. But, yeah. Yeah, so this is pretty interesting. Yeah, the Collector stands in this. We have this Kang. If we beat Kang, this is out of order. This is when Thanos like opens up. It literally like tells you that Thanos gets opened up, like just like the cutscene. But anyways, moving on. This is what Act 2 at the end of it used to be. It used to be Thanos questioning everything, like we saw earlier. But then he starts questioning like the collector can't possibly be doing all this. Like that's like what he said. It's beyond you, the collector, beyond an elder. And we find out there's a benefactor to the contest, and Daniel starts speaking to him, and he's like, "Show yourself, show yourself, benefactor. Tell me your true name." And he's like, "Defeat King, and you shall know my true name." So yeah, this got cut from the Act 2, which I think is quite surprising. I don't know if this guy is in Act 3 because I haven't done the new reworked Act 3, but it's crazy, and collectors like things aren't going exactly as planned, but they're still on track to do it. And Thanos is like, "Admit there's a benefactor," and the benefactor is just like, "You are in my realm, Thanos." Account for your tone. I love it, dude. And yeah, we beat King, and there's this cool picture of what actually happens. It's pretty awesome. And we get a cutscene, so I'm actually gonna break down the cutscene. I didn't do that last time. And the collector's like, a deal summoner. You and Thanos have defeated Kang. The benefactor of the contest will allow you to learn his true identity. He was born Bruce Banner, but now he is called the Maestro, the conqueror of his timeline. This is like so cool, man. Oh my god, I remember Maestro is one of my favorite characters, of Marvel of all time. He's just I was like, Hulk is always cool, man, but a freaking a future version of him just cracks and just becomes this overbearing conqueror and emperor, really. He's called an mcoc, the God King Maestro, and it's so cool. I've always loved the Maestro, and the Overseer, who is a young version of the Maestro, is one of my favorite characters as well from the contest, and it's just so cool. Now I do wish they, Ben would have kept that part of the benefactor showing up, and that would have helped this cutscene, because technically this cutscene still pops up in, you go to settings and it's Act 2. So I think Act 3 might just be reworked, because that's only 2 chapters. But yeah, man, that was pretty awesome. This is a pretty awesome Act 2. They just cut the adaptoids, really, and it cut the benefactor, which will be in Act 3, I guess. But I enjoyed it. This is pretty cool. We understand Kang's defeat, which will be a big part of Act. I think he shows up in Act 5 and then Act 7, and then he has that whole story in Act 7. So it's pretty cool for his origin story. All right, everyone, I think that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. This was pretty awesome. It was only 6 quests, and it was really short. I did this all in a day, so I could do probably Act 3 pretty soon. And obviously, we have winter break for me starting at the end of next month, so there is plenty of time to go through and try to catch up to Act 8. I know people are asking for it, so I'm going to try to do it. I appreciate you guys watching these videos and caring about the lore. It's my favorite part of the game. So I want to wish you guys all great rest of your day. If you guys have time out of your day tonight, we're interviewing Kabam Jax, who's a community manager at Kabam. And I think it'd be really awesome if you guys come up. It'll be a nice X Interviews podcast. Yeah, it should be, 6:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Central time. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. But anyways, peace out. I'll see you guys next time.